Hey, Culture Skin, and today guys I'm here to do another anime review, and this anime review is to Fate Extra Last Encore, episode 3. Now before I get into it, as you guys noticed, I did sort of end up missing another episode of So Deadly Sins. Don't worry, I'm doing the same thing I did the last 2 episodes I reviewed. I will combine both together, these 2 episodes, so I'm just going to mention that there. So yep, but anyway, let's get a review of Fate Extra Last Encore. So guys, in this episode of Fate Last Encore, first up with the situation with Hanako's powers, they don't get fully explained. Well, first of all, we don't even see the power he used. We don't see the power he used in this episode, which is quite weird. Like, I'm a bit weirded out that we don't see the reason why he activated his powers, what the power was he used. But we do know the reason why it activated. We now know the reason why it activated. After getting put in this dangerous situation with these girls trying to kill him, it looked like he awoken some memories he lost and how about his death. So that was interesting to know about. But we don't know what his power was, because during this battle, with Neo fighting against these servants, and then with Shinji trying to control them with the digital device he was using, like, of this world. Obviously, because we now know this world is digital, so obviously there's going to be some digital devices that he can use and stuff, being what he's known as a Floor Master, because we don't fully know. This episode does try to explain what a Floor Master is, but it's confusing. It doesn't. To me, it's quite confusing what the episode was trying to say what Floor Master is. It does involve defeating all the Master and Servants that were left on this floor, and that's how he became a Floor Master, because he defeated all of them, but I don't fully understand how that worked, but I digressed. But anyway, that's what he did, and because of that he became the Floor Master. But we also do find out Shinji, he looks like some form of mental problem was going in his head. Like, obviously he's still fucked up. He is still fucked up, mind you. But he's trying to give him some justification why he was killing and why he killed Hanako. They're trying to give him some justification, but I still I'm still saying he's crazy. He's still crazy. You admit that. But anyway, during this fight, obviously we don't know what power Hanako used, but once Neo and Shinji realized that Hanako defeated these girls, sooner or later, Rin, after Shinji was worrying about these viruses that were going on, like hacks and viruses going on, Rin comes jumping out in the sky on a flying magical motorcycle. Rin comes in, pretty much giving a signal pretty much to Hanako and Neo to escape, jump onto my bike pretty much, and they, after Neo realized what she's ordered to do, she grabbed Hanako and jumped onto Rin's bike, and they escaped from Shinji. Now, after that, we see Hanako in bed in Rin's hideout as a passed out after waking up because it seems like he passed out. When he got back, he passed out, and he was healing he was lying in bed healing from and regaining magic he lost during the battle he was against Shinji. Now, all those like paper seals on him, those were called codecasters, which were healing him with magical power or something. They were healing him from injuries he took. So that's what Rin explained. What those around him, those are codecasters or something. Like, I might have said those names wrong, but that's what those were healing him from damage he took from the battle. Next we see, there's one thing, there's one thing we see, sorry about this, it's a bit, sorry about that, words getting problem here, sorry about words here. But afterwards, after waking up, Rin explains why she's here, but before that she starts to explain to Hanako why she's here, why she helped them out, and everything. But before I get into the reason why she said that, before she started explaining what she was doing, she gave both Neo a servant potion and Hanako a master potion to heal their magical energy after this battle. Because obviously, we all know if a servant, the master runs out of magical energy, they can't supply master can't supply the servant any magical energy, and the servant will obviously disappear. So that looks like still in the system of the Holy Grail War. If the master doesn't supply magical energy to the servant, obviously the servant will disappear and technically die. So that's the reason why she gave them potions to regain their magical energy, so they can, of course, have enough to fight in the battle that they were participating and fight in battle. Now we do notice that Rin ends up taking that potion, even though she does say she is a fallen master. She's a master who lost her servant in battle, so she does declare she's a master. But for some reason, instead of taking the master potion, she took a servant potion, which Honoko and the others and Nero doesn't don't react to it. She just took it normally, like it was like no big deal. Like they even see that's no big deal. I don't know why they didn't say anything. Why she took that potion, and the episode itself doesn't tell us why she took that potion. Why she took it? Like, that is the thing. Why she took a servant potion when that is meant for servants, while the master potion she gave Honoko is what master's supposed to drink. That's something I want to know, by the way. But afterwards, after taking those potions, she tells Honoko why she's here, what she's doing. She ends up being a rebel who is pretty much trying to defy the rules that the new system of the system of this world is trying to do now. Because ever since the destruction of the Seraph, everything went out of balance, and because of that, she noticed everybody giving up the Holy Grail War, even though it was important to be done. So because of that, she's a rebel trying to get the system back out, and she knows that Hanako is on the same side as her, so she offers a partnership to them, and offers work as a partnership, like she does with Shiro in Fate's Day Night, and obviously Hanako and Nero accepts the partnership. She also tells them the reason why Shinji is the floor master of why he created this world. He's the one who created this world. Now with Shinji, I've got to say, he seems like he was going through some form of insanity. He was going through some insanity, and it looks like he wasn't aware that he was killing people in the first place. He looks like he wasn't aware, but at the end he was. Like, it's very confusing. This episode was trying to explain a lot of things, but I feel like they're very confusing in my personal opinion. But in the end, it could be just because my autism made it hard for me to understand. I'm just saying that right now. So, if you are like an ordinary person who can understand, or who has a better understanding when it comes to things than I do, then you might understand what this episode was trying to say to you. But for me, personally, I couldn't fully understand what the hell that was going on. But we do find out this world is an illusion that Shinji created after becoming the Four Master, which was quite interesting to realise. Now, we also, obviously, we now know that, we also find out also to ascend to the next floor, you must defeat a servant master. You must defeat a servant master before you can ascend to the next floor. It means you can descend, you can climb down from floors and stuff, and stay on floors without fighting master servants. But if you want to ascend, if you want to go to higher floors, you must defeat a master or servant before you can ascend to the next floor. So that is something you do for real life. And obviously the only master and servant remaining standing was, of course, Shinji. And you guys remember that girl we met in the bar? We found out she is a servant. We found out she's the servant of Shinji, who's ended up being a rider class servant. She's a rider class servant, which is quite interesting. A rider class servant, and we now know that and her name is, I'm trying to get her name right. I think her name is known as Francesca, I think, like a pirate. She's a pirate. We find out she's a legendary pirate who, because obviously it makes sense. She's a rider class servant and she's a pirate. It makes sort of sense why she is a rider class servant, because of ships and stuff. And she activates her noble fans, while fighting Neo and Hanako in battle. And I gotta say, her noble phantasm is freaking OP. I can see why they won the battle and how Shinji became the Four Master. I can see how that was possible. But then once in this battle, once Neo sort of got knocked down into the water, she notices a ship. She notices a ship on the floor. And she uses one of her abilities known as I'm trying to get the proper word. The proper word is Imperial Command? Ascend, I think. I might be wrong with that name. I'm sorry for my pronunciation being wrong. I'm so terrible at names and remembering names, as you guys know. But she activates one ability which seems to give her command of anything she touches. But she needs to give a magical energy to that to make sure that she can command this said ship, because this is a reckoned ship that is still usable. Well, it's not usable being it is, but good enough to be used with her ability to command it to attack and shipwreck her this rider class servant's ship and the Phantasm, and that's what she did. But by doing that, she didn't use a lot of magical energy, and she looks like she's about to pass up. But then soon later, Honoko dives in and kisses Neo. And obviously we know how magic transfer works, because that's what Honoko did. He transferred some of his magic into Neo, and obviously there's two ways to transfer magic. One of them is kissing, and the other way is sexual intercourse. But obviously this series needs to be somewhat PG. It needs to still be PG, and obviously they can't add sex into it, so obviously kissing was added to rectify the conclusion of having sexual intercourse to be the actual reason why the transfer magic. So, but obviously it makes sense. They have to have physical contact to transfer magic, and that's what he did. Hanukkah did. He kissed Neo to transfer magic into Neo, and obviously she knows what he did that for. And after that, she got magical energy back, and then afterwards she fought against Ryder again, and in the end she defeats Ryder, and obviously by doing that, defeating Shinji. Now, we do find out in this world that if the master doesn't break their contract with their servant, the master will also disappear along with their servant. So that is something that is interesting. Like, once the servant dies, pretty much if the master doesn't break their contract with the servant, the master will also disappear. So that's something you do find out. So that means a servant is desperately still needed in battle for anyone, because if if a master doesn't break contract with the servant will and the master will die at the same time. So that is something which I feel like that made more sense. It makes more sense and made it more dangerous for both the servant and the master to go into battle. Because I feel like it was a bit unfair for the servant to be like, if the master dies, the servant will pretty much die, unless they find a suitable master. But I feel like that should be the same reason for a master. Once they made a servant contract, they should have been at risk of their lives as well. Because if the servant died, obviously there should be some consequences for the master as well. Which looks like in this series that is the case. The consequences after the servant dies, unless you don't break the contract with your servant, the master will also disappear and die at the same time. Obviously Shinji doesn't do that for some reason. And they do, like I said, they do try to declare the reason why he did that. They try to declare the reason why he did that. But, there's still, just the explanation, it was a bit hard for me to understand, me personally. So, but they tried their best. I've got to admit that. But for me personally, it felt rushed. I'm just going to say it felt very rushed. It felt rushed. I'm a bit disappointed about that. But overall, after that, after the battle, oh by the way, if you want to know how they got into the battle against Shinji, after Rin and Honoko's Nero made a partnership, Rin and they all went charging into Shinji's base, and obviously they will succeed in getting into his base. But before they do that, it seems like Shinji created some form of defense mechanism which caused water to appear, which makes sense because of the ship that his servant has. So obviously he sort of altered the universe and created water, which looked like Ring got sucked up into that water, but looks like at the end of the episode, after the end of the ending song, she seems to be alright, but but that's what happened to her. She got sucked up into the water, but then looked like she ended up being alright in the end. So that was quite interesting. Realised she still was still alright. And I've got to say, I laughed at the ending because what happened is that after defeating Shinji, the actual world, the actual floor turned back into what the floor is supposed to look like. And after that, the ladder, like elevator sort of thing that makes them ascend to the next floor, comes to them, and Neo and Honko goes into ascend to the next floor. But while doing that, Rin just comes into a freaking flying magical motorcycle, and she pretty much says, "Hey, don't leave without me!" And I've got to say, just that, well, when she said that, that made me laugh. That made me laugh. The way she's, like, pretty much saying, "Don't leave without me." It was just pretty much very funny how she said that. Like, I don't know why it made me laugh, it just did. But anyway, that's how the episode ends. And that's all I've got to say about the actual episode. Now, animation quality, animation looked good. I feel like there was points in the episode for like, there was some animation issues, but there were like nitpicks, not too big of a deal. But overall, the animation looked freaking good. The fight scene looked good. Like I said, the only real big disappointment of this episode, it did feel rushed. It felt rushed for some reason. The episode felt rushed. And that's the only disappointment I have with this episode. But in the end, overall, the episode was pretty good. And I had good enjoyment in this episode. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's my anime review to Fate Extra Last Encore Episode 3. Hope guys like it on chat fans today. If you guys want to send out, go straight down below. My Astra, and yeah. Hope guys like it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Wow.